Good morning. You're listening to WIFO-FM in Jessup, Big Dog Country, 105.5 on your FM dial. Butch Hubbard here with you, along with Bob Morgan, on this Monday morning, July 12th. And coming up between 8:30 and 9, you'll have a chance to win 4 free tickets to Wild Adventures Park. As a matter of fact, we'll give away 2 sets of those, and a chance to win a dinner in the movie at the Historic Strand Cinema in downtown Jessup, as we'll ask today's Strand movie trivia question of the day around 8:45 to 8:50. 7:58, it is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by First Southern Bank, Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings, Murphy Builder Supply, and O'Quinn & Associates Country Financial.
When it comes to growing a family business, we understand the business of growing. At First Southern Bank, we've been meeting the needs of South Georgia farmers for over 100 years with competitive ag loan rates, including equipment loans, farmland loans, and lines of credit. First Southern Bank has all the banking tools you need to help keep your growing business growing. First Southern Bank, investing in you since 1907. For loan rates and more, visit firstsoutherngA.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings restaurant in Jessup is now open for business, practicing social distancing, but still serving that great food that Damon's is famous for. Come inside or come through the drive-thru, but Damon's is open inside and welcomes back its customers. The menu's the same, the service is fast, and the food is fantastic, and the sauces remain the same, mild, wild, insane, or inferno. The number is the same, 588-WING, 588-9464. Damon's Restaurant on West Cherry Street in Jessup. Dining room now open for business. Come on in and enjoy a great meal today.
Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jessup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
Country Financial is ranked number 1 in customer satisfaction for home insurance according to J.D. Power. Why am I sharing such big news instead of some mascot or movie star? Because at Country Financial, we don't invest in all that. We invest in our clients. Call me, Stephanie, at 912-588-1051 at Shauna Quinn's office to learn more about Country Financial's J.D. Power award-winning home insurance.
For J.D. Power 2020 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, or Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Jessup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup. And Bob, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Doing good. Did you play? Have a good time on Saturday in the golf tournament?
Had a good time. I played golf all day Saturday. I went to
all day?
Yeah. I played 18 holes after the tournament, so had a good time.
Man, you were getting some in, weren't you?
Yeah. Getting ready for the Rogers Cup this weekend.
The Rogers Cup is this weekend?
This weekend.
So 2 tournaments, 2 weekends in a row, huh?
Yep. This is the Men's Golf Association's tournament. Got to be a member of the Men's Golf Association to get in, but it's a lot of fun. Played 27 holes on Saturday, 18 holes, one-on-one on Sunday. So
this coming weekend you're playing how many?
27 holes on Saturday and 18 on Sunday.
All part of the tournament?
Yep.
That's a lot of holes for a tournament, Bob.
It's a lot of fun. Can't wait.
Man, geez. So is it a scramble? You playing with 3 other guys?
The 27 holes are different formats. One's like, I don't know what the...
It's all different.
One's a scramble, one's a best ball, one's alternating shots. Then 18 holes is just one-on-one. You paired up with... There's 2 different teams. 2 captains pick the teams.
Oh.
So you just compete against
shaking it up.
Yeah.
Making things different, making it fun.
It's a lot of fun.
So
it's probably the most fun tournament of the year for everybody out there.
There's not a team. You just got to
there's 2 teams. Yeah, you get selected team.
You do select a team.
Thursday, the 2 captains will pick the teams, and they'll call you, let you know what team you're on.
Okay.
And you'll show up, and you'll pair up with one of your teammates against the other 2 guys. So, but then on Sunday, it's a one-on-one, 18 holes. You and one other person from the other team compete. And
man. Sounds like fun. This is a big fundraiser for the Golf Association?
No, it's just part of being the Men's Golf Association.
Oh, it's just for fun.
Right. If you're a member of the Men's Golf Association, you get to participate in this. It's just a fun tournament. Just good competition. A A lot of trash talk going on.
A lot of trash talking going on.
Just
a lot of trash talking.
Just a lot of fun.
Well, hopefully no one will lose $100,000 like, who was it?
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley doing the tournament this past weekend. And people are wondering, where's Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan? He will be on around 8:10. Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan will be calling in and letting us know his future plans since he's not running for re-election.
Saw Black Widow Saturday night. That was a good movie.
Now, is that good?
That's good. Yeah.
Black Widow, huh?
Action-packed. If you
And
want to see
that's
action-packed.
Scarlett Johansson?
Scarlett Johansson, yeah.
Well, she's fine looking.
It's a good movie.
Good.
Enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it, huh?
Yeah. Good
Watching her kick butt, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was pretty good.
2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up from Bob.
Yeah. I liked it. It was good.
Okay.
Good movie.
Well, Bob, there's something going on special today in Jacksonville at the TIAA Bank Field, the Jacksonville Jaguar Field today. And for folks out there who would like maybe a temporary job during the football season and a chance to be in the stadium and around the stadium during the home games of the Jacksonville Jaguars, we've been running ads on it since Friday. It says the Jacksonville Jaguars, now this is their final one. They've held 2 other ones in the last couple of months, but this is their final one. The Jacksonville Jaguars will hold one final job fair today, July 12th, at the TIAA Bank Field. It's hosted by the Jaguars Fan Experience Department. The event will help the team and its stadium partners fill more than 1,000 part-time positions for all of the 2021 home games and other stadium events. The team previously hosted 2 other job fairs in June, but will offer residents one final opportunity to join the team on game day this fall. And that's this afternoon between 5 to 7 p.m. Just go down to the TIAA Bank Field, the Jacksonville Jaguar Field in downtown Jacksonville. It's the East Club side, and you got free parking in Lot C. So just go to Lot C, and you get free parking there, and you go inside, and you get to apply for one of these 1,000 temporary jobs that will you'll be event staff there at the Jacksonville Jaguar games and some of the other events they'll have going on this summer and fall there at the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium. And so you can go, and that way you can be part of the experience and have fun. They say basically all you need is to dress well, not like formal, but, look decent, have a smile, have a pen, and perhaps maybe you'll get a job. But that just shows you about how many different part-time people they need for the Jacksonville Jaguar games and the other events they have there at the stadium during the season. 1,000, Bob.
It's a lot of
Hopefully they'll have better luck hiring people than around here. I go into Walmart on yesterday morning. There's this big sign, now hiring, just like many other signs in just about every other business around town. Now hiring. But this is the opportunity to go down there and, folks can do something a little different they haven't done before. Work inside an event there at the Jacksonville Jaguar Stadium, the TIAA Field, Bank Field, TIAA Bank Field. And once again, that job fair is today from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Just go to the East Club side, park in Lot C, free parking, and just go inside and be interviewed. Don't have to bring much. A smile, dress well, and a pen. That's really what they're asking for there. And available positions, Bob, are ushers, ticket takers, food service staff, bartenders, servers, cashiers, security, merchandise staff, housekeeping, and parking attendants. Professional dress and a smile and a pen are recommended. So, folks can go down there and do it. Now, I know you can't do it, Bob, because you're down there at the games hosting. You're down there in the press box up there enjoying that super buffet, talking with the other press folks up there during the games.
I'm hoping that's back this year. I said
didn't get to do it last year.
They haven't made that official yet, but they say that's where they're leaning. So hopefully we'll be back in that press box this football season.
Yeah. A lot of people are deciding what to do and what not to do. On my dad's mother's side of the family, we've been holding a family reunion over in Moultrie, Georgia, ever since 1956. And the only year that we missed was this last year because of COVID. And now the family's in talk. Are we going to have it this year on Labor Day weekend? People have been vaccinated. Do we feel comfortable enough for the family to be around each other for the event? I didn't think there would be any hesitation in having the family reunion this weekend, Labor Day weekend. But talking to Dad yesterday, the They're in talks about it.
Still
whether
up in the air.
still up in the air whether we're going to have it or not. I hate to miss 2 years in a row because, for a lot of the relatives, it's the only time we get to see them. All right, we're going to have Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan on in just a moment right here on Big Dog Country Radio. Hold on.
When further treatment is no longer an option, hospice can provide services to manage symptoms and difficulties caused by illness. Emotional, psychosocial, and spiritual care, as well as support to the families and caregivers, are all part of hospice care. Hospice of South Georgia has been a part of the health community in Wayne and surrounding counties since 1998. The professional yet compassionate attention provided by our staff is unsurpassed. Widely supported by donations from the local population, Hospice of South Georgia is the local nonprofit hospice in Wayne County. Our administrative office is located at 1625 Sunset Boulevard, and Hospice of South Georgia accepts anyone who meets hospice criteria, regardless of their ability to pay. Please call 912-588-0080 to speak with someone about hospice care. That was 912-588-0080. We are your hometown hospice, and we are here to serve you. Hospice of South Georgia, working to add life to your days.
And it's time now for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. On the phone with us is Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan. Jeff, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We're doing great. Appreciate you being back on the show. Again, we got to meet you personally when you stopped in Scriven a couple of years ago, and just wanted to get you on here. You're not running for re-election. A lot of people want to know, first of all, why isn't the Lieutenant Governor seeking re-election?
Well, one, it's great to be back on with y'all. Look, I've really, really enjoyed the job of being Lieutenant Governor. The place I want to start is I've got 18 months left in this term, and I'm going to run through the finish line as hard as I possibly can. We still got a lot of things that we want to get done, and really excited about what we have already done, but going to keep working hard for the Georgians out there. Even the folks who didn't vote for us, we still go to work for them every day. Look, I woke up 8 months ago like everybody else, post-election cycle, and the world just looked a lot different here in the U.S. The events of January 6th and some other things just really kind of put us in a position where I feel like there's some new opportunities to lead on a national platform, and so I've started an organization called GOP 2.0, and it's really about trying to figure out the best pathway forward to make sure that conservatives lead at the state and federal level for the foreseeable future. And I've got a book coming out in September called GOP 2.0 that really tries to outline this plan of what it's like to be a conservative and why smaller governments and public safety and national security are so important. And so we're going to march as hard as we can to make sure that we have conservatives all over the government in charge.
And what exactly does GOP 2.0 mean?
Yeah, so GOP 2.0 is not a new party; it's just a better pathway forward. I believe when you walk into a room, almost every listener you've got, I don't know who's a Democrat, who's a Republican, but I would imagine an overwhelming majority of your listeners realize that a Republican is probably best to be in charge of growing an economy, keeping their neighborhoods safe, supporting their law enforcement officers, which are vital to public safety, and also being in charge of our national security. And I just feel like we've stopped reminding people of those qualities that Republicans have, and I want to make sure that we do that. And also from a tone perspective, I just feel like this is the right moment in time for Republicans to step up all over the country and really lead by example, to really lead with an encouraging tone. I look at what conservative values have done here in Georgia. Governor Brian Kemp has done such an amazing job of walking us through so many difficult situations over the last 3 years. Certainly, none to be overshadowed by the efforts around the pandemic. The balance of lives and livelihoods with a conservative mindset. I mean, we sit here today on the backside of a global pandemic that has literally shut the world down for months at periods. And we are here in Georgia with one of the lowest unemployment rates in the entire country. We have over $5 billion in a rainy day fund that's allowing us to make sure that we've got the resources to take care of folks. Look, that doesn't happen by accident. That happens because you have intentional conservative leadership that really values personal responsibility and limited government strategies.
This is All-Star Week. The All-Star Game should be in Atlanta. It's not in Atlanta. People still scratching their head why it's not in Atlanta. I know you're a big baseball fan, former baseball player. How disappointing is it to not have that game in Atlanta?
Yeah, it's disappointing on a million fronts. Everybody has seemed to want to weaponize the previous election cycle, and that just the only people that get caught in the crosshairs are the people that matter, right? The hardworking small business owners, the fans, the folks that don't really care about all the political riffraff. They just care about, going to work and take care of their families and being able to enjoy the Braves or any other sort of baseball-related game. So, look, it's painful, but we got to move on. And, it is what it is. I think baseball made a knee-jerk reaction. I actually had some opportunities to speak to the commissioner and others around the situation, tried to talk them out of making the move. It just didn't work out. One of the things we're doing here is I volunteer with a group called LEAD, L-E-A-D. That's a downtown Atlanta-based baseball travel team. And we've actually coordinated a game tomorrow against their travel team versus one of the travel teams my son's on. We're going to play the game at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. Adidas has come in to sponsor it for us. And we're going to put kids from different perspectives, a group of kids from downtown Atlanta and a group of kids from Forsyth County. We're going to split the teams up, make them play with each other, and play 7 innings of hard-nosed baseball and then feed them dinner afterwards. So, look, the glass is either half full or half empty. We're going to choose up here in Forsyth County to make sure it looks half full.
If you're just joining us on the phone with us is Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan. And one reason the reason they said they moved the game out of Atlanta was these new voting laws that were voted in. You called it just a product of common sense. So just give us your thoughts on the laws that were passed and what they were intended to do.
Yeah, I think you're probably referring to the interview I did last night on Fox News with Trey Gowdy. And, we were specifically talking about the voter ID elements of the election reform bill. And, ultimately, I think that bipartisanly, we agreed that there was some inefficiencies in the last election cycle, regardless of where you stood on, the conspiracy and the voting fraud stuff. Just the lack of efficiencies inside of the election cycle, and voter ID was one of those. Really, really proud to work with a number of folks in the Senate to get a really, really common sense bill across the finish line with regard to voter ID. We had 230,000 people vote via absentee ballot in 2018. Over 1.3 million voting via absentee ballot in 2020, yet the law only provided for a signature match, and certainly it doesn't take a lot to realize that the inefficiencies. So this is now an opportunity to have a common sense law where if you want to vote via absentee ballot, you've got to show an ID, or if for whatever reason you're one of the small few that don't have access to IDs, you can just put your date of birth and the last 4 of your social, and you too can jump in line to vote via absentee ballot. Those are common sense solutions to common sense problems. And unfortunately, folks on the outside 5% have weaponized those efforts just for political gain.
I've asked several people that have been on the show, several politicians, what is I don't understand what the argument is against the voter ID. You have to have a voter ID, or you have to have an ID to get on a plane. You have to have an ID almost for everything. Why do people fight the voter ID? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, I've heard all kinds of far-reaching headwinds and tailwinds to the notion of it. It's hard for me to feel like there's a genuineness to the arguments against the voter ID. I mean, it makes sense. It's just, there's really no rational argument against it. And look, just, one of the conversations or questions that came up last night on Fox News was, I feel like there was a relatively civil debate around a number of these elements of the final version of SB 202. Obviously it was an omnibus bill, and a lot of things that I thought were great, efficient ideas that were in it, bipartisan ideas, a couple of notions in the bill I wasn't really a big fan of. But, one of the things we did to keep a civilized debate around a number of these elements was just working with the other side. I mean, I know that sounds like a far-fetched idea in 2021. It almost seems like, political taboo to even ask the other side a question. But sometimes that's a very disarming element. And to that, we watched that play out. When the first version of voter ID came out, it was really just focused on an ID. And then with some questions and comments from the Democrats about maybe there's a potential up to 3% of the population that doesn't have an ID, then we had and some of that could be elderly, partially, poverty could have an issue with it, some sort of physical disability, whatever the notion is. We were able to clean that up with date of birth and last 4 of your social. So asking the other side helps to disarm the other side, in my opinion.
As you mentioned, you got almost a year and a half left in office as lieutenant governor. A lot of people have no idea what the job of a lieutenant governor is. So just explain what are your details and what are you responsible of doing?
Yeah, so, the primary job of the lieutenant governors to be the president of the Senate. So you got 56 senators, and y'all in your region have an incredible senator. I hope he's not listening so he doesn't hear me talk really good about him. But Blake Tillery has done an amazing job. He really, really has. I mean, and think about this. I mean, Blake has stepped in one of the most pivotal times in our state's history. I mean, here we are in a pandemic, and the unfortunate Jack Hill passed away, long-time, well-respected appropriations chairman, and Blake stepped right into that role and has allowed us to shepherd our budget and our process. So really grateful for his service. But, yeah, as the president of the Senate, we really kind of guide and lead the debate. We're able to work with the committees and assign legislation and really kind of set the tone and tenor of the Senate. And then secondly, really try to be an advocate for conservative strategies and ideas. And, I'm really grateful to have a governor that is extremely dovetailed on a policy, perspective with where I'm at, just believing in personal responsibility, smaller government, and, really trying to protect those conservative values around the state.
The governor's already kicked off his campaign, so I guess since you're not running, will you be out helping him get reelected?
Anything I can do to help the most conservative governor in Georgia's history to get reelected, I'm in. That is really where we're at today, right? There is an opportunity to elect literally the most conservative governor in our history, and there should be not a single Republican that doesn't think that. All you got to do is go back and look at what he's done in the 3 years he's been here, the things he's led us through. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. He was going to go into office and be a real conservative. He's been tested under fire, and that's exactly what he's done in the 3 years, and I'm going to be proud to cast a vote for him and campaign for him.
You look at the Republican Party, he's already got opposition in his own party, and people from the outside look in and say that's one thing they can't understand. The Republicans always seem to have opposition in their own party, and it seems to divide the party. Is that a concern of yours at all?
Yeah, but, at the end of the day, when I sit there and I look at all the things Brian Kemp's done for us in Georgia, all the opportunities to put his leadership style on display, my personal opinion is I'm not worried about the primary. And I think at the end of the day, an overwhelming number of Georgians, including the folks that potentially are in the middle, are going to wake up and say, you know what, I love having a high-paying quality job. I love having a trajectory like we've got with businesses all over the world calling this place home. I love a governor who understands in the heat of the moment what the balance of lives and livelihoods needs to feel like. And I think I'm confident that Brian Kemp is going to continue to be our governor.
You mentioned your organization, that GOP 2.0. Is that just a statewide or is that nationwide?
No, it's national. So if you go to GOP2.org, GOP2.org, you can read up and see more information about it. It's a 501c4, and it's really about healing and rebuilding the Republican Party on a national basis.
How do people get involved? Excuse me, I'm sorry. How do people get involved with it?
Yeah, so GOP2.org, you can go in and sign up, join the movement, and you put down your name and email address, and we'll make sure that we dovetail you into our communication strategies. We have got an unbelievable, kind of response to it. I mean, I literally have got folks from all 50 states that are signing up on a continuing basis that are, pre-ordering the book that's out there that really is just a game plan about, how we move forward with a new and, with an improved strategy to make sure that we win these elections. And folks literally from all over the country are donating money to the effort.
What other, excuse me, I'm sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, go ahead.
What other prominent Republicans are part of this movement that you're leading?
Well, there's folks all over the country. I've been to D.C. a number of times and met with folks that are out there. I've been with, all types of activists from around the country. We've got several trips planned on the book tour to meet up with large groups. At the end of the day, this is what we're trying to create is a safe place for conservatives to call home, right? A place that allows us to focus in on the things that matter. I have this acronym in the book called PET Project, P-E-T, Policy, Empathy, and Tone. I think our strategy going forward in 2022 and 2024 as conservatives is to make sure we remind everybody of the policies that we're great at. And that's the P. And then the E is empathy. I think we need to start figuring out how to be more empathetic and we want to grow the size of the tent, we need to understand the size of the problems in some of these communities. And then the T is tone, and I'm just one of those that take a lot of experience from the boardroom and from my business days and realize tone matters. And if we want to encourage and if we want to grow the party, make sure that we walk into every room and encourage people to join us on the journey and not call them names. And I think that's an important part of our future as Republicans.
once again, what's the name of the book and how they pre-order the book?
Just go to GOP2.org, and it'll tee you up there on how to pre-order the book. It comes out September 7th, and look, it's a little bit of a look at the election cycle, but a really forward-looking opportunity to see how we, as a party nationally, can make sure we step up to the plate and take this thing seriously and allow ourselves to be back in charge of our state and federal governments.
Well, maybe when the book comes out, we can get you back in Wayne County and have a book signing. That'd be fun.
I love it. I'll be there.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you. Like I said, you've been a friend of the show. We've had you on several times. I just wanted to get you on to explain why you weren't running and about this organization that you organized. And it's always good talking to you. And like I said, we'll follow the elections closely. And once the book comes out, hopefully we'll get you back on to talk about the book.
Sounds like a plan. Y'all have a great day. Happy Monday, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. All right, Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, our special guest here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, here on Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup. And once again, Bob, what is the name of that organization?
GOP 2.0.
GOP
2.0.
2.0. The point, like period?
Yeah, period.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what I've read on the website.
So. All right. So it's I'm going to go ahead and put it in and see what it looks like here. GOP, you said 2, the number 2?
Number 2.0.
.org?
I'm not sure about that.
I think you said .org. Let's look and see. Yep, let's see if that's it. I'm not sure. Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup. That must not be it. Didn't come up. I'll look at it later and we'll talk about it another time, but I don't want to take up time trying to find a website. We did have someone text in just a moment ago, Bob, about the job fair down in Jacksonville, and they wanted to know if there was a phone number that folks could call. Don't see a phone number. It just says show up at the TIAA Bank Field, parking lot C for free parking, and the job fair is from 5 to 7. So you want to get there before 5 and get set up and go inside, but there's no number to call. I guess they don't want people calling left, right, forwards, and backwards about it because they probably don't have enough people to answer the phone. And so that's where it's going to be. And so you can go down there and check all about it. Maybe you can be one of those 1,000 people that work in the event staff at the Jacksonville Jaguar games and other events going on at the field there during this fall. Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO 105.5 FM in Jessup. And the book is GOP 2.0 organization. So GOP2.org. Okay? And that's the organization that Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan was just talking about there. So any names out there so far? You've heard anybody, Bob, mention the fact they may want to run for Lieutenant Governor?
Oh, yeah, that Butch Miller guy.
Butch Miller?
Out there running. There's several that have thrown
several of them?
Hat, right.
Okay.
He's supposedly the leading person that gets the most ink from the AJC. So
okay. Well, that's going to be interesting.
The elections, people are running already. Like I said, the governor kicked off his re-election campaign Saturday with the big event up in Perry, Georgia, at the fairgrounds. So a lot of people are up there for that. So it's underway. It's still over a year away, but the campaigns are in full swing.
It's amazing how each year it just seems like it gets further and further away from the election date and they just start getting out there. You don't just show up just a year in advance. It's at least a couple of years in advance, and to get everything put together and start mentioning to folks that you want to join and everything. Still don't know anything about Herschel yet running for Senate, do we?
He's still contemplating.
He's still contemplating.
I'm hoping he got my letter saying
don't run. You don't want him to run because if there's any skeleton in the closet,
he's a Georgia Cannonball. He's the Heisman Trophy winner. He's an icon.
Yeah.
Don't become a politician, please. Stay out of that race.
And the
plus you'd have to move. The inside story in Texas is his wife doesn't want to move to Texas.
Move away from Texas.
What's
she
that
loves
old
Texas
saying?
and she don't want to move to Georgia.
Happy wife, happy life. So,
that's right.
So maybe the wife will have influence on him staying in Texas. So.
And the other Republican candidate that's running for governor against Brian Kemp is Vernon Jones, who we had on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show the other day. He spoke down there at the event that former President Trump was at. Right. And it'll be interesting to see how that goes. He's got a long way to go to catch up with Brian Kemp when it comes to money, because he's only got less than $1 million.
He still doesn't have. He still doesn't have Trump's.
But he doesn't have Trump's support yet.
Trump's still trying to find somebody else, but can't find anybody. So I think Kemp's fine in the primary. It's just the question is Stacey Abrams going to be the candidate? She still hasn't decided she's going to run for governor yet. So.
Yeah, she's raised hundreds of $1 millions with that organization that she put together after the last governor's election. And so it'll be interesting to see what all happens. The eyes of the nation seem to be on Georgia, with 2 Republican senators going to 2 Democrats, and now Georgia's instead of being solid red, now it's more purple, and so the eyes of the nation right here on the state of Georgia when it comes to politics.
It'll be interesting.
Well, as we were just talking about there with Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan about the All-Star Game being moved out of Atlanta to Denver, they're having the home run derby tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, home run derby's tonight.
And home run derby's tonight, and then the game is actually tomorrow night, right?
Game's tomorrow night. Like I said, Ronald Acuna, that's the big story for the Braves. Tore his ACL Saturday out for the year, which is a big blow to the Braves' hopes for having a good season. That's going to be a big blow.
I think they said like 1 out of every 4 runs was caused by him in some sort of way.
You just don't replace a Ronald Acuna Jr. So, but sad story. It's a freak accident too.
It is a freak accident. Just freaky.
See it all the time.
Jeez. Well, what about Conor McGregor breaking his leg in the first round of that MMA fight this past weekend?
That was crazy.
I mean, bam, snap, crackle, pop. There goes the leg. Jeez. And then still having that attitude as they're taking him off on the stretcher. I'm going to fight him again. You can tell you one thing about Conor. He's colorful. He is colorful. But just a couple of freak accidents over the weekend to a couple of top athletes there.
Did people get a refund for that?
No, you don't get a refund.
You're just out of luck.
You're just out of luck. Whether it goes a half a round or if it goes 12 rounds, you pay the same amount, Bob. You know that from all the years of boxing.
That's why I don't buy those things.
Yeah. I've never done a pay-per-view. Have you?
Yeah, several times.
Several times you did pay-per-view. Okay.
Not on Houston. It has to be a legitimate fight. I want to see boxing.
You want MMA is
I'm not even
legitimate, Bob.
Yeah, I'm not even.
I can think it might be more legitimate than boxing is these days. Oh, boy. Oh, yes, sirree. Well, anything else going on, Bob? Anything news-wise locally that you're keeping an eye on this week?
I wish there was some news. It's kind of slow right now in the news world. I said, going to Vidalia to watch the 7-on-7 today. That got rained out last week. So
who's going there?
The high school football team.
Wayne County High School football team, 7-on-7 in Vidalia today?
Head that way to watch that. So
okay.
That season's right on the way. We're less than, I think it's 5 weeks from this Friday.
Okay. And we look forward to having the recreation swim team, the state qualifiers, the Piranhas. They'll be here on Wednesday on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. Hopefully all 34 of them. We'll get as many as we can.
Right.
The parents can get them here.
Going to Catoosa.
Catoosa. Yes, sir. Long way up. I was talking to Matt and Mandy, my son and daughter-in-law, yesterday, and they're leaving Thursday, and get on up there and get checked into the motel and everything, get ready for competition on Friday and Saturday. All right, Bob, is that it?
That's it.
That's it. All right. World-famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO, brought to you by First Southern Bank. Also brought to you by Damon's Famous Fingers and Wings, Murphy Builder Supply, and by O'Quinn & Associates Country Financial.